All right, let's get into it. Clap it. Yeah.
The people.
How you guys doing? My name is Hero. This is Coding with Strangers, and I want to talk about something. Hey, yo. Millennials and Gen Z people, we not to be messed with. We are a resilient bunch of people, and there's this part of me that is so happy to see people coming to their senses, because believe it, I was told verbatim, if you get a college degree, which is true, people with college degrees tend to do better than people without them. But if you have a college degree and you're in a field that's in demand, you'll be fine. I have 3 college degrees. I am fine. But I also know people who have 3 college degrees, and dare I say 4, and they're not doing fine. I do know that there are people who are going into lifetimes worth of debt for college degrees where college degrees aren't needed. I do know that because of our inability to transfer people, because of our stigma towards blue collar jobs, you look at a plumber and you say, oh, he plays with shit, so he must be poor. I want you to go look at a plumber's annual. If they're converting 10% of 100 calls they get, they average out minimum 70,000 and can literally charge highway robbery prices. There's so many things that we can attribute to why millennials and Gen Z people are kind of checking out. But I think the thing that people never expected to see is the people who made it to the top and are now tired of it. Could you imagine working for a Fortune 500 company, making 6 figures? We're not talking about 110,000. We're talking about you're a $200,000 kid, 25, but you're literally dying. One of my favorite pastimes to do is to look at yearbook photos in hospitals from when nurses and doctors first get on board, and then just look at them 2 years later. Look at their photo ID just 2 years later, because every year you have to update it. They look like they're dying. But yeah, after looking at those pictures and just seeing like how much they've changed, how much the stress is just worn on them, it becomes quite apparent that these high-paying jobs in these high-stress areas, and let me be very clear. I've held a human heart, so I know what stress feels like. A lot of the stresses of corporate America are a figment of our imagination. It is fake. It's fake pressure. It's get this report done by Friday. Does someone die if I don't do this by Friday? No. Does the bank go under? No. So maybe I can do it on Monday, so I don't end up stressing myself all Friday trying to put in this 100-point report. But if your middle manager can't prove that they're keeping busy bees busy, then how can the middle manager be proving that they're doing their job? It's this passive, psychotic fixation on looking productive. Productivity has to go through the roof. Productivity has to go through the roof. Productivity has to go through the roof. If I've learned anything while coding and learning about data structures, is big N notation. You have 2 types of capacity: space and time. We're quickly approaching time because speed of light is the fastest thing we know. So then it becomes about organization and how we're handling it. And because people are handling this shit well, people are just checking out of corporate America. And we're running into a causality sweep. Too many old people not giving up the power, too many young people not learning the ropes, and then the question becomes, what happens to your company when you don't have anybody to run it for you? So now we go and learn So let's take a closer look at this, shall we? I found 2 articles kind of splaying out my thoughts, but this is more so not me giving my definitive answer on this. I don't know. No one knows what's going to happen. So the thing that we need to figure out is ascertain is what are some possible answers. And I wrote some notes here about what I think would help out, but let's see what the zeitgeist of the information is. 40% of Gen Z and millennial workers, 40% of Gen Z and millennial workers would quit a job over political differences in the workspace. I love this title because of the implications of what's going on in the workforce today. Google it comes to mind because they let people go because of their protest, because they didn't want Google giving access to Israel over Palestine, right? So this is just a segment of it, but we'll go into it. A new survey released by Indeed and Harris Polls show nearly 40% of Gen Z millennial workers ages 18 to 34, damn it, I'm out of the group now, shit, said they would leave a job because of political differences at work, and 40% said that they would leave if their CEO expressed political views they disagreed with overall. 28% of workers would consider resigning over political differences, and 32% might leave if the CEO expressed views that they disagree with, Indeed found. And you want to know something that is fascinating for this? Because there's 3 golden rules when you're at a job. Rule number 1, you never talk about who you're having sex with. Rule number 2, you never talk about money. And rule number 3, you don't talk about politics. And these are old tide rules that I don't believe should exist anymore. Maybe one of them. And that's primarily talking about who you're having sex with. And that one I would change out to probably never talking about religion. But the whole political and your beliefs and things of that nature should stay at home. But more than ever, CEOs want to become the face of the company. And when you're the face of the company, a la Elon Musk, your political views start to seep out. So when Tesla's having a horrible time selling vehicles, and it's not because their cars are, well, it is partly because their cars are dog water, but when they're giving people discounts to just get them off the lot and it's not working, which has now in turn given other car companies enough time. Ford has an electric car that can compete with all of Tesla's vehicles now, and they're better. There are high, like Tesla used to be perceived as a high-end luxury vehicle. That is not the case anymore. And in large part, it's not because they did something business wrong. They did something socially wrong, which is introduce politics. So seeing people not want to invest or buy or work for Tesla is not far from the truth. This could be seen as possible as true. But then we get a little bit closer at, what about corporate loyalty? Hey, we all know that one person, Janice. She's been with the company for 20 years. She's been an assistant leader, an assistant team lead to the director and product manager, product owner. So she's number 4 in line. And every time you get ready for the promotion cycle, this is your 2nd year at the company, it's the promotion cycle time, and it's like, okay, hey, hero, we're going to promote you to the next division. And I leaned over and I said, what about Janice? She's been with the company 20 years. She trained me. I would feel very indifferent if I took her, if I became her superior in the course of 6 months. And they basically told me Janice would never get promoted. And I was like, but why? What? And why do you feel comfortable enough telling me this? Because Janice isn't going anywhere. She's been here for 20 years. No one's going to put up with her. Her routine is her routine. And if human beings aren't anything, we are we are creatures of habit. She wakes up every morning. She gets the same brew coffee. She then puts on her white strips to make sure her teeth don't stain. She takes her first meeting at 9:30, even though she got to work at 7. She has her social hours. Like, Janice knows it. And that comfort can come as a benefit. But my real question then became to that manager, why'd you give me the promotion? Well, we know you can leave. We know you will leave. So we got to figure out a way to keep you happy. And there's no there's no level of pizza party out there or anything like that. But this whole thing about loyalty, it doesn't pay. It doesn't pay. Corporate loyalty does not pay off, HR expert says, as job hopping gains currency among young people. Vera Lua, 27, has worked at 3 different companies in as many years as she is part of a generation that appears to be challenging the idea of corporate loyalty. I don't think loyalty pays off. It's all very transactional. You are only valuable for as long as they see you as valuable, Lau told CNBC. Make it. If you don't learn and you don't earn it, it's time to go. According to a May 2024 study by WorkProud that surveyed 1,000 full-time employees, only 23% of workers aged 42 and younger expressed strong interest in staying with their companies for the long term. For workers aged 30 and under, that fell to 18%. That fell to 18%. If you know loyalty isn't there, and you know that the political aspect of it isn't there, what else do we have got going on? The younger generation is also using their sick leave and their benefits a lot more. This generation is becoming way more invested with using and having benefits. For example, instead of asking for a salary, asking for more PTO, asking for more stock options, asking for more benefits that will make your life easier at the said job. I've seen on a number of occasions, specifically for Facebook, where Facebook engineers who received half of their whole entire salary, in stock options, immediately were able to retire when Facebook hit their peak this year. And basically they woke up one day and they had $50 million in stock options. You can retire at that point. You can retire. So why come to work anymore? PTO. I'm making no qualms about it. I'm taking PTO, and when I give you a PTO form, that isn't me asking for permission. That is me telling you I've already booked my flight. I'm not missing the flight. So you can figure it out on your own. Don't ask me for no favors. I'm not interested in overtime either. You can have that shit. Friday night, do I look like I am not ugly, sir. I am at least a 7 on the scale. I'll test my luck in the streets before I test my luck in this damn hospital. Right? So we take advantage of our benefits. We use them to our heart's content. And we have no shame about calling in on a Friday and saying, yo, look, I'm sick. Nobody told you to plan all this shit on a Friday. That's something specifically I have done. Right? Anytime there's a potluck or there's some family, like, oh, we're all going to go together and go to a baseball game. No, I'm calling in sick. Because why? Why couldn't we all go to the gym and do 700-pound deadlifts? Well, Hero, I don't think that's fair. Well, guess what? I got opinions too. So, all this being said, there are a multitude of reasons. I've now given you 3 specific reasons why millennials and Gen Zers aren't pretty much interested in doing the 9-to-5, even if it is a high-paying job. So the question is, how are we going to survive? And these aren't definitive answers, and I think you still need to find balance. I think the ultimate answer to this is you need to find balance. When you are interviewing at these companies, you have to look at something other than the price tag, because there is a dogma in this idea where eventually the pizza party is what you want. We all get to a certain point where the pizza party is what is okay. It's okay to have the pizza party. And what do I mean by this? If I'm making, let's just say I'm making $100,000, and that's all I need. In fact, it's $22,000 more than what I need. Every year I can save $22,000, right? If the job I'm going to, they let me work from home when I want to. They let me come, like when I come into the office, I can be productive, and all the amenities I need and everything are there. My leadership is focused. Their plans are transparent. My impact is apparent. My purpose, I feel value and purpose in my work. And the same exact company bloomed up next door, but offered me $250,000 instead of $100,000. I'm not leaving. And you can take that with a grain of salt and be like, oh, but it's the same thing. But what I say in the beginning, we're creatures of habit, and enough will change. But in TV jobs, I hear you would drive in, but it can't be money. Money cannot be the thing that makes you satisfied enough to do the job. Because I literally save people's lives for a living, but I dread going to that hospital. It has to be something else other than money. So it has to be, whether it's the support that you get from your staff, your team, the fact that you don't have to drive into work every single day, and whatever it is that brings you peace besides the paycheck, it's definitely going to help you ascertain balance. Right? But here are some other things that you can definitely get into to help alleviate the pressures of having to rely on the 9-to-5. And Nezzy said this earlier, and it's literally the first one. You got to be able to solve problems, and then find someone out there who needs a problem solved. Gig economy is flourishing, and it's always going to flourish. It's always going to be there. So there's always going to be someone who needs something out there that you can do. And if you can do it, you never do it for free. Right? The second thing that is still worrisome to me, and it still bothers me, is the amount of people who do not have an LLC. I started my I literally took me 3 days, 3 business days, Monday to Wednesday, to start up my LLC. And with that LLC, payments for any type of training, all travel, all meals while traveling, and all equipment is covered. I get to write that off. Right? Gaming news channel, the camera, the microphone, the PlayStation 5, the games I have to play, all of that. All of that. The amount of stuff I can write off on my taxes and the things that I can get as a credit makes it profitable. And it's not like my channel's doing great. I mean, I love you guys. I love you guys dearly. But you guys, come on, guys. You guys aren't paying my way. You got to find a way. Don't be afraid. You could start an LLC for any reason, and under that LLC, unless it falls into particular works that require certifications, can't start an LLC and just start being a farmer. Like, you're gonna need some things to support your documentation. But it's the great way to get back into it. And then the last thing is don't be afraid to interview these companies. When you sit down across that table, all the pressure isn't on you. Put some pressure on them. Make them prove to you that you will be supported, appreciated, and more importantly, heard. They need to make sure that they can support your best version of yourself. Don't settle for having a nice paycheck. Trust me, money is not going to bring you happiness. The time you have to work on your happiness will keep you there, right? So I know this was kind of a thing that has been off the minds and on the minds of people here and there, but I think we as a group, a generation, need to continue to advocate for ourselves, and the older generation need to hear us when we say, go sit the fuck down. Go sit the fuck down. It's our turn. Like, share, subscribe. I'll see you guys on the other side. All right, we're done.